Hi guys, welcome back to Banyo Thoughts, your daily dose of adventure and happiness. And I'd like to introduce again my co-host for today, COVID Apple. Wala na po si Mangga, kinain ko na po. Si Apple na lang natitira. So, magpa 4 months ka ng color green pa rin, hindi pa rin nawawala yung pagka-green mo. Curious ako kapag hinati ko to sa loob, ano kang itsura niya? Kasi green pa rin sa labas. Anyway, today I'd like to talk about something that's I think maybe it's common, maybe it's not common, maybe it's something that's happening to everyone, but personally this is the one that but one of the, I think, remember on May 26th, this is one of the reasons why I fell into anxiety, and it's about loneliness and loving yourself and loneliness. And then that whole feeling, I'm not sure kung everyone can relate to this, no, but sometimes I personally would think that there's like a gap in your heart, or like a void in your heart, like you're walking around with like a piece of your heart missing. And then you have this whole idea that the only way to fill that void in your heart is to look for love, and in whatever form it is. So you try to fill in that void, or that emptiness, by looking for relationships, getting into a relationship, and then hoping that you fill that gap, or you fill it, you fill that gap, or you close that that hole in your heart. And I personally have never been very successful when it comes to relationships, and I think that's it's a foreign territory for me. Meaning I'm not an expert. I've never had a successful relationship as well, and then you start thinking. Siguro now I'm starting thinking that, is there something wrong with me? Am I not good enough for other people? And you think that you are, I guess, like defective of this. Like maybe they have something that people don't like about you, or you're not worthy of these things. And then it got me thinking, I think that whole loneliness stemming from the fact that you don't have anyone. It's hard to talk about this because it's really something very emotional for me, and something very very, very personal and very deep. But I'm not sure if you guys will be able to relate to it. But yun nga lang, sometimes when you think about it, na you go through life, you have this mindset na, bakit siya swerte siya, bakit ikaw hindi? Bakit siya may love life, ikaw wala? Or you watch films, or you watch those let's say Korean dramas, or any show that focuses on happy couples. It's a start, di magandang simula, and then gumandang ending and happy ending, and you feel like, nakakaingit naman, sana ikaw rin ganun, sana all, #sana all. And that made me that actually kept me awake last night thinking about it. And I was talking to Chrissy again. So hi Chrissy, at na naman tayong dalawa, quotable quotes ka na naman. And then she said to me, and I think it's time for you to actively put yourself out there. I mean, and really find love. And I was thinking, parang, is that how it is? You put yourself out there, and using like dating apps and stuff like that, so that people you will find someone. I didn't ask that, but that's just a question in my head, no? So what is the way? How do you do it? And how do go out there and look for love, and or do you find love? Do you actually look for love, or do you actually go out and find love by? So it made me think that that's really way be outside of my comfort zone. And we have this project. Sabi niya sa akin na, oh, tagal-tagal na, hindi pa rin sisimula yung project mo. Yung kailangan mo na sinusulat na lahat yan. May day 1, day 2, day 3 na kailangan natin gawin. And I was thinking, it's a good practice. Maybe it's a good social experiment, and it's probably fun doing that. But I really do feel uncomfortable of doing it. But inisip ko rin, what's the worst case scenario of not doing it naman? I mean, at least that's one option. You know what I'm saying? That's another way. Because maybe I'm a romanticist. That I'm a romantic. So we're na I prefer those love story kind of thing where you probably find the person out there and then it's a love at first sight kind of thing. Maybe that's probably the one that's built in my head. That's how I imagined it. But I guess in reality it doesn't really work that way. Maybe for people who are couples, maybe majority of them didn't have that kind of magical moment, or maybe some did, some didn't. Some worked hard for it, and inisip ko rin na that again siguro ito yung sakit ko na kailangan ganito. I mean, this is how I would want the story to play out in my life. That you meet someone in this scenario. So doing what Chrissy was advising me to do, which is really basically writing things down, documenting things down, putting yourself out there, and by talking to friends and recommending friends for you to go out with or date, even it's virtually and stuff. Just the idea of just being vulnerable and laying your heart there. You're not gonna go you're not gonna make, ang point naman niya, hindi naman magiging relationship mo agad yung unang tao. Ang takot ko lang kasi is like, if you don't like the person, it's like, how do you say if you don't like the person? Or how do you convey that in a very nice way without hurting someone's feelings? And those are the thoughts in my head. So I'm really like worrying already things that wala pa, hindi pa nangyayari. So, anyway, but again, it's a struggle for me. And then she said yesterday, natawa lang ako, sabi niya, oh, isulat mo na kasi. So, sulat mo na yung kailangan mo isulat. Ilagay mo na kagad sa, like, like, you build your package. That's how basically what she told me. So, build the package, and then that's what you tell people or wherever you're gonna be meeting. Still, again, I'm comfortable with the whole idea, but it's better than nothing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's, maybe again, that's the only way that I know, no? That's probably like, I'm not into kasi I don't know, the culture kasi parang feeling ko the dating apps here are just meant for hookups kind of thing. That's my own impression of it, and I don't feel comfortable with that. No, I prefer something that's more realistic or more face-to-face kind of thing that really happens as gradually, you know what I'm saying? Tapos isa pa inisip ko, time frame. Do you have a time frame? Do you have to have a time frame? It's within 6 months, 1 year. And then she said kasi, oh, Gian, baka mamaya 3 years na yung COVID, wala ka pa. Medyo na-stress ako doon. So sabi ko, hindi inisip ko rin yan. Parang wala what's gonna happen, what if this whole quarantine extends to 3 years, and what are you gonna do about it? Again, so I siguro one of my you can say not regrets, but yung inggit is that I'm really jealous of yung mga couples, how they get to be together, and seeing them, they're very happy. I guess that's like ikaw parang again hashtag sana all. Parang nakakaingit lang ako na gano'n, na gusto mo rin ng gano'n. And again, going back, paano ako magkaaguran kung wala ka namang gagawin, di ba? If you just put yourself in the environment and stay there within your comfort zone, ako parang, yun nga, parang pinapatamaan ako ng sarili kong mga sinasabi, no? Like, it's your comfort zone. And then, inisip ko rin kasi, that's one of the, another thought that I encountered is that, tama ba yung idea na you want people in your life because you just want to fill that gap, but it's not really about the relationship. I mean, it's not what you're after. And I don't want that to happen naman. I don't want people to be like a tool for me to be able to, you know, to close that, you know, that void, or to feel that you're not feel lonely. I really want it to be a genuine relationship that springs forth, you know, that you go that doesn't fill you, but rather it complements you, and you both journey together towards your own happiness adventure as a couple. So that's probably the one that I am looking forward to, that I really want to have in my life. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, and maybe you guys have the same mind, or same daydream, or same dream. Yun lang, I guess at the end of the day, it's really for us to discover, you know, sabi nga, tama naman sinasabi nila. At first, you have to be content with yourself before you can actually give yourself to someone. Because if you feel that you're lacking, if you feel that you're insecure, if you feel that you don't really, you know, you don't really love yourself, then I guess you won't be able to cherish. You'll always have this, you know, hang up in your head, and then when you enter into a relationship, you will not be able to cherish it as much, because you're always looking into filling in or solving those insecurities, or filling those gaps that you have. That doesn't make you move forward, and it's not going to help out any other person as well. So in the end, I guess you just have to be, I mean, again, you just have to be happy with yourself, and at the same time, if you feel lonely with yourself, it's fine as well. You know, it's fine to embrace those emotions and love those emotions. Because I remember one of my friends, Isang, we had a, you know, conversation in the balcony of my other house before, and then she said, because I was feeling sad at the time, and then she said, you know, it's a good thing that you feel sad, because that means that your heart is still capable of, you know, loving and breathing. Because not everyone is blessed with that. Because some people who underwent a bad relationship or a bad breakup tend to close their heart, and then they tend to protect it, and they tend to become in Filipino, manhid, or they tend to be callous, or develop the sense of not feeling anything anymore, because it's of, you know, the previous experience. So if you do feel emotions, that you feel lonely, you feel sad, you feel happy, you feel angry, you feel excited, you feel, you know, all these emotions, the best way is really to embrace those emotions and love those emotions and move with those emotions. So at the end of the day, again, for me personally, it's like it's going to be an adventure. I probably look at it that way, that it's something that I am excited about. With, you know, siguro si Chrissy's my love coach. You can actually ask her. She's like, she can message her, because she's really, really good at explaining things on how, because she has undergone through a lot as well, and she has this experiences that gave her all these, you know, tidbits of wisdom that she shares to people who ask her. And she's always been my confidant when it comes to those kind of stuff, and aside from all the other ideas that we usually have, or conversations. But that's it, no? So at the end of the day, it's like, we accept who we are. We accept that, that feeling lonely is part of being human, and I want to accept that. And I'm happy actually that I've acknowledged it. That is actually the one of my trigger points. That ones that affects me a lot, and I'm really thankful, like in the sense that these things that have happened all throughout these weeks. I wouldn't be able to realize this if this whole quarantine, COVID did not happen. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's a blessing in disguise that God takes away, or God takes away everything. God removes all the obstacles so you can actually see yourself as your essence. I mean, again, I'm talking about very philosophical stuff, but for me, kasi it's very real that ngayon ko lang siguro naramdaman at na-realize na ganito pala ako, ganito pala gusto ko. That I have this perception of myself and all these ideas about myself that were really counterproductive to my growth. And having all these things laid out to you and feeling, making you feel every single thing, every single emotion, made me appreciate really that the flaws, the insecurities, and that sense of, that you want to always prove yourself are all part of being human, and you just have to embrace that and just work within that parameter. And, I just wanted to share this. It's really like I'm just talking about random stuff, but it's just very emotional for me to discuss this, because it's so very real that that loneliness is, especially now, I don't have anyone here except my dog, who I love so much, but he doesn't talk. I talk to him, So yun, I hope you guys take something away from this, and I hope you guys love yourself more and be very kind to yourself more, and that if you're in a relationship, that you really should treasure it. And if you're not in a relationship, you don't have any love, and you're searching for love, I think and you always hear that you always love yourself kind of thing, but I think tama sabi ni Chrissy, you have to put yourself out there, and then so that you will figure things out. What you shouldn't be doing is focusing on your insecurities and all the things that make you think that you're a bad person or not worthy of anything. But focus on those things that that makes you happy, and makes you, and accept that, embrace the flaws and everything. So yun lang, it's a very short podcast and video podcast. But I hope you guys have a takeaway from it, and I really am thankful for you guys for continuing to listen to this podcast every day. So yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for COVID for joining us in this episode of Panyo Thoughts, your daily dose of adventure and happiness. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.